I'm Marin, and this is Post-its and Pens. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin, and I am a teacher, reader, and beauty enthusiast. In today's video, I'm going to be introducing you to my low buy rules and my list of things that I am not permitted to buy in 2021. I will be giving you a little bit of background about why I started this and what I am hoping to accomplish as well. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Just for some background information, in 2019 and 2020, I did attempt to complete a no-buy year. I was successful in 2019, not as successful in 2020. Thank you, COVID. But this year, I decided that I didn't need to do a no-buy and instead wanted to work on a low-buy or a beauty budget. The reason for this is that I realized that I was spending far too much money at Sephora on expensive skincare and makeup items that I really did not need or end up wanting. So in 2019, I really worked to trim my collection down. I realized I still had a lot of excess items in 2020, which is why I carried it over. And then this year, before 2021, I actually went through and did a beauty inventory to see kind of where I was in all of the various categories. And I still had way too many items, especially in the skincare, hair care, and makeup categories. So that is why this year I decided to institute a beauty budget and a replacements only for certain types of items. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through those categories and some of the things that I am working on completing this year. When I started my low buy or beauty budget this year, I decided to create a list of 10 items that I am not allowed to purchase at all just because I have too many of them. I'm going to go ahead and list them here. But they are teacher t-shirts or teacher sweatshirts, lipsticks and lip glosses, any kind of drinkware, so mugs, travel cups, all of that kind of stuff. Books, which you might be wondering how I'm going to be having bookish content if I'm not buying books, but we will get to that eventually in another video. I am also not allowed to purchase any new subscription services. I am not allowed to purchase any tech gear. Now this kind of went by the wayside a bit when I had to transition from virtual teaching into concurrent teaching because there were some things that I realized I needed to have or put in place in order to make that work for me. So the tech gear is kind of a category that I'm not necessarily really still like holding myself to an absolute no on, but it is definitely something that I'm just watching. The next one is any kind of cardigan. I have far too many cardigans. They're one of my favorite things to wear. Any kind of writing materials, so pens, pencils, markers. This can include stationery, stickers, any of that kind of stuff. One exception was that I did have to replace my Flair pens for school because they'd all dried out after sitting there for basically a year not being used. So I did have to purchase some new ones for my classroom, but in my budget, school is kind of its own separate thing, and I just try to be mindful to make sure I'm not overspending. The 9th item is any kind of perfume or body sprays. And then the last one is candles. I have a ton of candles. I do not need to purchase any new ones until I use all of the original ones up. So those are the 10 things that I am not allowing myself to purchase in 2021. And now we're going to move on to my low buy or beauty budget rules. So my low buy guidelines, if you will, are that I have a $200 budget each month. Now, items that fall into those specific categories like skincare, hair care, makeup, those kind of things have to be taken out of my budget if I decide to purchase them. This includes replacements. I originally had body care in this category as well, but after January, I pretty much had cleared out all of my excess body care items, and I'm just down to one of each type. So that is not a category that I typically overspend in, so I'm not really worried about keeping that as part of my budget. As I mentioned, beauty products will be on a replacements only purchase plan, so I must run out of everything in one category before I am allowed to purchase anything new. So an example of this would be at the start of 2021, I had over 10 face primers, so I cannot purchase another primer until I used up all of the other primers. Now, I did actually manage to get through the majority of them by the middle of February, as most of them were just those little sample packets from Sephora. So I did purchase a new primer in February, and then I did purchase another one just a couple of weeks ago as well, because I have been deciding that I'm going to just do the mini primers so that I can truly find one that I really love instead of buying a full size and possibly not liking it down the road. My next rule is that essential items are not included in my budget. So these are things like toothpaste, things like personal care items, or any kind of supplements or medications, that kind of thing. So those are not counted in any kind of budget. The next rule is that I have to write down and track all of my purchases to make sure that I am staying within that $200 budget. So I will be doing monthly budget updates, and up to this point had been putting them on my Instagram. If you would like to check them out, I will put my Instagram here, so feel free to click on over and follow. The next rule is that any unused money from that $200 budget will be rolled over to the next month. So all unused money will just roll over to the next month. And the last rule is that gift cards are not included in my budget. So gift cards can be spent above and beyond the $200 should I receive any for holidays or my birthday or things like that. So one of the reasons that I decided to implement a beauty budget this year is basically because I just really want to be more mindful about the kind of money I'm spending on beauty type products. Now, clothing is included in the $200 budget. That is one thing that I did not mention, but any clothing purchases also come out of that $200. So any kind of skincare, hair care, beauty type item, and clothing all come out of that $200 per month. The only exceptions would be things like deodorant, which I don't purchase very often because they last a long time, toothpaste, those kind of things. I do not count those as beauty products. Those are counted as essential products. But I did do, as I mentioned, a beauty inventory, and honestly, some of the results were pretty eye-opening. I realized that I had way too many products to possibly use up if I was going to continue to add new ones in. My hair care in particular, I have a lot of these mini sample sizes that I purchased before traveling that just never got used up, and they've just been sitting there. So this year my goal is to go through all of that stuff before I am allowed to purchase anything new. So as I had mentioned earlier, when I started the year, I did have a couple different body washes, body scrubs, shaving creams, that kind of thing, but I am down to only one of everything. So I have one body wash, one body scrub, one shaving cream, one body lotion, one body oil, which is just a leftover from winter when my skin is a little bit drier, and I will not be repurchasing until winter comes around again. And then I also just have one powder to use on my body. So I am down to one of everything. So that is a category that I am happy to say I got rid of all of those extra things, and I can just use what I actually want to use. The other categories are not that way at all. So I have made a bit of a dent in my skincare, but I still have a lot of little samples of face oils or treatment serums or things like that. I had a ton of moisturizers that I actually worked through in the month of January, so I am down to just one moisturizer. And I'm getting close to emptying out a lot of those other miscellaneous categories, but it's just going to take a while. So I don't foresee myself purchasing anything new in those categories, probably for at least another month, if not longer. Makeup is something that I'm not doing replacements only on, with one exception, and that is lip gloss and lipstick. I am not actually a fan of lip gloss and lipstick. I don't wear them very often, and I have a ton of them. So I am just slowly working my way through the ones that I have and hoping that I can at least have some usage showing on everything at the end of the year. I did put a couple of items into my project pan, which I will talk about towards the end of this month, beginning of next month, to give you an idea of what items I am using there. But most of the lipstick and lip glosses, I am just kind of picking one and trying to work through it and get it used up. So that is going to be a very long process that I do not see being completed at the end of 2021, but life could surprise me, so we shall see. So anyway, that is kind of my overview of my low buy / no buy, in some cases / beauty budget that I am working from in 2021. I am really hopeful that I can clear out a lot of these extra products and kind of just consolidate everything down into what I truly love, what I truly want to use, and what I don't mind repurchasing when it runs out. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button if you would like to see more of my content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.